You've got a business, you want to succeed, you want to create value, and you want to get paid more of this stuff, and yet why is it so difficult? Well, I'll tell you right now that the majority of business owners do not know how to read their own company's financials. In fact, that word is kind of scary, right? It's the sheets of paper with a lot of numbers that we trust our accountants to kind of break down for us. But if you really want to succeed as the entrepreneur, you need to know what's on those financials. And today in this short video, I'm going to make it really simple to understand what are those 3 financial statements, how do you read them to make piles of money, and how easy it is to execute.
One shot, now the future is yours. Go!
Check it out. Today we're talking Business 101, the 3 things that you need to know. And yes, we are talking about your financials. If you're a business owner, trust me, I spent a decade with my blinders on. I was unwilling to understand my financials. I just hoped that my CPA and my tax accountant could basically tell me what it all meant so that I could go on trying to make a lot more money. And yet, let me tell you the honest, sick truth. 50% of our nation's GDP relies on the small backbone of our business owners. And the majority of them do not know how to read their financials, which ultimately means they don't know how to take the numbers of their business and turn them into words that will help them make money. Today, I'm going to show you how easy this really is. All right, let's get started with the language of business. It's not necessarily money, it's actually accounting. Numbers provide a universal and objective way to measure and communicate financial data. Improve your decision making by incorporating these 3 financial statements into your business vocabulary. In other words, I lost a decade of my life being a business owner thinking, oh, I just need to generate more revenue. I just need to work harder. I need to bring in more business. And then it should all work itself out in principle, and there should be money left over after I pay for all this crap, and then I'll make money, right? If you've ever felt that way as a business owner, you're in luck. Today's video is gonna bridge the gap and make all that scary accounting stuff actually not seem that scary. Chances are you've heard of a P&L, right? That's the profit and loss statement. It's also called the income statement. An income statement, also known as the profit and loss, summarizes a company's revenues, expenses, and net income. This provides a snapshot of the company's overall profitability. And yes, the financials have 3 different financial statements, but most entrepreneurs, they only focus on this one. And I got news for you. It's actually not the most important one. While it may not be the most important, it's actually essential as one of the 3 financial statements to understanding what's happening in your business. Now, what I've created here is a very, very oversimplified profit and loss statement. And it starts with revenue. We sold something and we brought in $100. Then there was the cost of the sale, which means we had to pay money out for that sale to take place, and it looks like $60 went towards that. So what we have now is not a profit. We have a gross profit of 40% or $40 that are left over of the 100. And then we have some expenses. We have some operating expenses. We have some non-operating expense items. And when you add all of that up, the additional $25, $15, and $4, it means that there's a net income left at the end of the day of $10. So we brought in one of these. This is a $100 bill. And what we're keeping at the end of the day is a tenth of it. We basically only get to keep $10. We would say that this is a 10% margin business because I bring in $100 and I only get to keep a tenth of it. All right, now, if you sit down with your CPA or your accountant, or if you have a CFO, here are the questions, 4 of them, that I want you to ask them when you're reviewing these numbers. Number 1, gross profit is really what matters, not revenue. Number 2, is your gross profit where it needs to be? Determine areas to improve your variable expenses. And then finally, look for fixed costs that are not needed. You'll likely find, for example, 10% of fixed costs to cut fairly easily. This 10% decrease could double your profits. In other words, shoot, I bring in $100, there's only $10 left. If I can cut these expenses down by another 10%, this number goes from $10 to $20. I just doubled my profitability. So winning in business means make sure when you sell crap that you're keeping a lot to start with, and then whatever your expenses are, decrease those. And what it does is it increases your margin. The second financial statement is called A balance sheet. A balance sheet shows what assets a company owns, what debts it owes to other people or companies, and who owns what amount of company shares. Now, I can also make this one super easy with an example we're all familiar with, and that game is real estate. For example, we have a home, and this is called an asset. In this situation, the asset, this home is worth $500,000. This asset is equal to the liabilities plus the equity. The liabilities on this home, we have a mortgage of $400,000. But because it's worth $500,000, that means that we also have $100,000 of equity. Well, at the end of the day, the balance sheet just basically says, okay, here are your assets, here's the people you owe, and here's the things left over. And the only other thing it would show is on the cap table, who owns what percentage of the company. You own 100% of the company in this case, which means that you have $500,000 of assets, you have $400,000 of liabilities, and there's $100,000 of equity that is left in this property, AKA your business. The third financial document is actually called the statement of cash flows. A cash flow statement shows the inflows and outflows of cash within a company over a specific period of time, categorizing the sources and uses of cash into operating, investing, and financial activities. It provides insights into your company's ability to generate and manage cash, allowing stakeholders to access liquidity, cash flow, and their ability to pay off debts. Have you ever, as a business owner, generated a bunch of money, and then after you paid out a bunch of expenses and salaries, were like, where did the rum go? Why is there no more rum?
No! Not good! Stop! Not good!
Literally, why don't I have any more money? Your P&L won't show you that. This document will. Check it out. Your statement of cash flow ultimately organizes all of the money moving in and the money moving out. On the green arrows, it shows money that's coming in. On the red arrows, it's money moving out. Now, as you look at this and you sit down with your financial team, these are the 5 questions you're going to ask that are going to make you sound and feel like a ninja. They're going to help your company grow. Here's the first one. Focus on the large changes, meaning the highest decreases and the highest increases. So I'm looking at this green number that says 1,600, but I've got one down here that says 4,000. That's the biggest one. Look at this one first. On the red, I have one going out for 13,000 and one going out for 5,000. I got one going out for $596. Ignore that. Go to the 13,000. The biggest money in and the biggest money out will help you understand what's happening in your business. Number 2, analyze the net profits for opportunities to improve. Number 3, review operating items for areas where cash is getting tied up constantly. Review operating items for areas where cash is getting tied up consistently. How do I collect my money faster? The faster I collect my receivables, the more money I have sitting in my bank account, and now my money and my bank and my business are flowing really well together. Number 4, is the company's cash flow coming from profits, or is it coming from other unsustainable things? And then finally, are the outflows for debt paydowns and capital expenditures supported by profitability? These 5 questions, swear to you, screenshot them. This is what you ask your team. You'll start having some of the most important conversations in your business about your statement of cash flows. And from here, you can really start to grow your company. You becoming acquainted with these 3 documents, while it may seem overwhelming at first, this is where all the solutions lie in your business to any kind of money problems. And it's also where you go to look to increase your margin and double or triple your profitability. Financial statements, they are ultimately incredibly powerful tools for finding the bottlenecks, keeping your business from being more profitable, but you have to know how to read and understand these items first. And I hope you appreciated today's video, but if you're looking for some next level financial help, one thing you may not know about me, I love going into people's companies and then helping them tweak this and tweak that and using the power of my social media and my network and my advisory board to blow up their company. So check this out. If you really believe that you can 10x your business, not just double it, but if you really want to see it go somewhere and you want some help, I might be the guy for you. Every month, I pick up a handful of companies where I give all of my resources, my CEOs, my CFOs, my time, my marketing team, my social media, my traffic, my business prowess, everything, my relationships, and I pour them into companies that I believe in to do this, just blow their company up. And if you think you have a company that has a lot of growth potential, but you might need an expert or a mentor to step in with all of my resources to help cause that, Click the link below and just fill out a form. Tell me a little bit about you and your business. And then me and my team, we're gonna be in touch with you and we're gonna have that conversation and we'll just sit down and I'll just dive in and I'll start sharing directly with you, hey, here are the things that you can do, the levers that you can pull that are gonna explode your profitability. And if that's of interest to you, click the link below. Let's get started. By now, you may have figured out that one of the toughest things to do, period, in business is to start one. If you want to learn how to start making bigger financial moves that are faster and more successful and really kind of crank on the success meter, click right here and let me show you why you should not start a business and instead do this other thing.